So, looking at the presidential election, one thing that I'm focusing on right now is YouTube. Because when people are observing a presidential election and they're trying to figure out who's going to win, who's got the best chance of winning, they always look at polls and they always look at statistics and they always look at some poll that's put out by some alphabet news outlet or whatever. But I don't really focus on that stuff. You see, there is something that is greatly overlooked when it comes to predicting the outcome of an election, and that is YouTube comments. YouTube comments and also YouTube views. So, for example, you look at a video that pertains to Donald Trump, and the video is put out by CNN. The video has millions of views. And the video has tens of thousands of comments. Read the comments. Read the comments. And if the majority of the comments are in favor for Donald Trump, I mean, you're looking at tens of thousands of comments. And the majority of them are in favor for Donald Trump. That gives you a general idea as to what a lot of people are thinking in regards to Trump. So let's look at one example right here. Here we got a video, and it is Ice Cube getting interviewed by Chris Cuomo of CNN. And they're talking about Ice Cube entertaining the idea of collaborating with Donald Trump to help African Americans. And you look at this video here. This video's got over 2.7 million views. It's going to be 3 million pretty soon. And Cuomo is somewhat challenging Ice Cube and saying, how could you entertain the idea of collaborating with Trump when Trump has denied the existence of systemic racism and all that stuff? And Ice Cube says, well, it don't matter because I just want to work with whoever is in power to help black Americans, and that's my goal. So this is what Ice Cube says.
To fight with you, you would have known it. What I'm saying is, I think I did get it wrong, and I want to make sure I get it right. So saying you're working with the Trump team is wrong. What you did was, when they asked to talk to you about it, you said yes. If Biden had asked to talk to you about it now, you would have gone to them the same way. It's not about you choosing anything. It's you working with everybody who's got a chance of doing anything.
So I'm working with whoever's in power. Yeah, I'll work with both. Whoever's in power, I'm going to work with. So whoever wins, they'll hear from me.
Okay, so I'm glad you...
So that's pretty much all Ice Cube says in this interview. Ice Cube doesn't say anything phenomenal. He doesn't say anything educational. He doesn't say anything that's just awe-inspiring. Nothing like that. He looks like he's still stuck in the 1990s, especially with all that stuff on his wall behind him. But there's nothing really remarkable or distinct about this interview. And it's got over 2.7 million views. Tens of thousands of comments, over 54,000 comments so far, and counting. And pretty much every comment hates Cuomo and is sympathetic to Trump. Cuomo, why would you work with Donald Trump? Cube, he is the president. Are you working with Trump? Well, he's the president of the United States of America. Probably a good idea to start there. It's always about Trump, and that's why nothing is going to change. He's trying to do something and is willing to work with whoever will be willing to get it done, period. Yes, this is on point. Social problems should not be a political leverage. I felt like Chris was condescending. I feel he clarified his point pretty well. He wants both sides to fix the problem. Ice Cube smelling a whole lot of BS coming from Cuomo there. So it's very angry towards the media. Like, that's the general idea I'm getting from all these comments. There's a lot of anger against the media. They are all hating Chris Cuomo. And this is one thing that I find so fascinating about American society is you could have a reporter or an anchorman like Cuomo asking questions and asking challenging questions. And if the people hate you, they're never going to say something like, oh, look, a reporter asking challenging questions. That's what reporters are supposed to do. Reporters are supposed to ask challenging questions. Like, it doesn't matter. They're going to hate you. They're going to hate the reporter. So a lot of people hate Cuomo. A lot of people hate this guy. And he's asking challenging questions, which is what a lot of reporters do. At least they should be doing that. And it doesn't matter because a lot of people love Trump, or they are sympathetic towards Trump enough that people throw that sort of thing out the window and they are going to hate you. And it's amazing if the situation was switched around, and let's say you had Ice Cube being the one who, let's say Ice Cube hates Donald Trump in this video, and Cuomo supports Trump, and Cuomo begins to challenge Ice Cube on his hatred for Trump. All these commenters would be saying, good for Cuomo, good for Cuomo. Cuomo, a great journalist. I wish we could have journalists like this in every news network. They don't make journalists like this anymore. That's what people would be saying in the comment section. How do I know that? Look at the interview of Wolf Blitzer confronting Nancy Pelosi. And all the comments are loving Blitzer. And Blitzer is generally a liberal. He's generally a liberal. And almost all the comments are hating Pelosi and loving Blitzer for challenging Pelosi. So if someone challenges someone that you don't like, you're going to love that reporter. If a reporter challenges someone that you don't like, you're going to love that reporter. If the reporter challenges someone that believes in something that you're sympathetic to, you are going to hate that reporter. So all these commenters who are like biased news media, mainstream media hates the American people, they don't even make real journalists anymore. All these people are hypocrites. Because if it was the other way around and Ice Cube was saying, I would never work with Trump, and Cuomo was challenging him for that, all these people would be hating Ice Cube and they would be loving Cuomo. This is the way of the mob. This is why when I hear people say things like, well, they don't make real journalists anymore, and they need to have, honest journalism, and the mainstream media is lying to the people. The reason why people are talking like that is because a lot of them love Trump, and they hate the media because of the general criticism that comes from the media against Donald Trump. That's all it is. So when they say the mainstream media is biased, they're actually the ones who are biased. Well, the mainstream media, of course, does have a bias. But when people start hating the mainstream media and they say, like, well, the mainstream media is biased, the people who are hating on the mainstream media are also biased because we as humans are naturally biased. But here's another example. Here is a video that was put out by Trump's campaign. This is from the official YouTube channel of Donald J. Trump. And this video came out yesterday. It already has 3.4 million views. Over 13,000 comments. And it says, now we know why he got so angry. And it's making fun of Biden and, the whole thing with Biden and his son and Ukraine and all that.
Your son's job in Ukraine. How is that not a conflict of interest?
It's not a conflict of interest. There's been no indication of any conflict of interest from Ukraine or anywhere else. Period. I'm not gonna respond to that. Let's focus on the problem. Focus on this man, what he's doing.
And you see how forceful Biden is in this exchange here. Focus on this man. This president, Donald Trump, he's done something that no president has ever done, blah, 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 blah. But you see how forceful he is? What that indicates is that Biden doesn't really have a good enough answer towards the criticism of him and whatever happened between him and his son in Ukraine and all that stuff. He doesn't really have a good enough argument, and that is greatly revealed in his response and how he replies and how he snaps at people when they ask him anything in regards to his son and whatever the hell he was doing in Ukraine. But regardless of that, Trump put out this video. It's got over 3.4 million views. Over 13,000 comments so far. Of course, everyone hates Biden. They're all making fun of Biden. And here's the thing. Look, this is from Trump's YouTube channel, right? This is why I say we got to focus on social media when measuring the potential outcome of an election. Trump puts out videos. A message from First Lady Melania Trump, over 3 million views. Joe Biden, you are lying, over 3 million views. Joe Biden wants your money, over 2 million views. UFC champ Jorge Masvidal. I'm guessing Masvidal is supporting Trump? I don't know. But this
I'm going to let you in on something.
This video's got over 3 million views.
The Democrats just think that they're entitled to the Latino vote. They think that we just have to hand it over to them. That's right. We sure as hell don't. Así mismo. Así mismo. They got to show us what they can do for us, what they can do for our communities.
Oh, that's right. Jorge Masvidal is Cuban, and Cubans consistently vote Republican. I think Cubans are actually the most consistent voting bloc, more so than any ethnic group in the United States. Like, they consistently vote Republican every election. But this video's got over 3 million views. Now, let's do a comparison here. Let's look at Joe Biden's YouTube channel. So this is Joe Biden's YouTube channel. So, and by the way, Trump's YouTube channel has over 1 million subscribers. Joe Biden, only 342,000 subs. Now, YouTube is generally liberal. And a lot of the people who go on YouTube are liberal. And people who go on the internet, not necessarily, the internet isn't necessarily something that's dominated by the right or by conservatives. And yet, Joe Biden, who is running against someone that the liberals have been calling Hitler, he only gets 342,000 YouTube subscribers. Like, you would think he'd be getting a lot more than that. He's running up against Trump. He is the main weapon against Donald Trump. And yet, he's only got 342,000 subs. That really does tell me something. But you look at the engagement that his videos are getting. Look at this. Kamala Harris chats with NBA players. Now, NBA players are celebrities. They're practically worshipped by the American populace. And yet, a video of Jorge Masvidal, who's not as famous as the NBA, he says something against the Democrat Party. Trump puts a video of it, gets over 3 million views. This video's got only 3,716 views. And look, I mean, it looks like they're in a hospital waiting room or something.
Joe Biden making a decision about who sits on that court. It's going to have everything to do with almost every civil right.
And who really cares about any of this stuff? And look at the comments. Chinese Communism Party can manipulate Americans' ballot like South Korea. Be careful. Sorry, I can't anymore. The moment LeBron was on Teen Titans got ruined. Every time an NBA player speaks for me, I'm going to just go over their dribble. Does she also have hot sauce in her purse? Yeah, and this is in reference to Hillary Clinton. When Hillary was running against Donald Trump, she went on The Breakfast Club, which is an African-American radio show. And they said, what do you got in your purse? And she said, hot sauce. And that was said obviously to... It was an attempt to appeal to African-Americans because African-Americans love hot sauce. And, that's at least a stereotype. And Charlemagne, one of the hosts there, said, are you just saying that to appeal to African-Americans? And Hillary Clinton's like, well, is it working? And it was obvious that she was lying about hot sauce being in her purse. Plus, I mean, look at her. I think she's from Arkansas. I don't think people in Arkansas are walking around with hot sauce in their purse. But, I mean, just look at these comments. Somebody give the big guy a 10% cut. I don't know what that means. Who cares if Hunter Biden was making $50K a month working for a foreign fossil fuel company and smoking rocks while using the vice presidency of the United States for personal family gains? Was Joe Biden really your first choice? I'm with you, Kamala. I voted you should to Biden-Harris. So there is some support, obviously. This is his YouTube channel. But considering that on Biden's YouTube channel, this video only gets over 3,000 views, and a lot of these comments hate him, that is pretty revealing. How many cowards does it take to not talk about Hunter Biden's laptop? Oh, and this Hunter Biden's laptop thing, this was like the obsession with Hillary Clinton's emails. I remember when Hillary was running and they kept talking about her emails, reveal the emails, and then eventually the emails were revealed, and it was like, you know, everyone, the whole world found out that Hillary Clinton can't use a laptop. Or she can't use a fax machine or whatever. Joe is a warmonger. Joe Biden is a lazier candidate than even Hillary. So this is a disaster for Biden. Like, from an optics view, from a social media strategic standpoint, this is pretty pathetic. Like, if this is the best you have, this is pathetic. And let's look at what's the most viewed video on Biden's channel. So let's look at most popular. The most popular video they have, or videos, 3.4 million. And what's interesting is that 3.4 million in just 2 months, right? Which isn't really that impressive. Considering the fact that when you go back to Trump's channel, I mean, Trump puts out a video and it gets over 3 million views in a day. This video got over 3.6 million views in just a day. And when you go to Biden's channel gets, you know, the most popular video on Biden's channel is 3.4 million views, but that's in 2 months. So it's not really saying a whole lot. And they had to turn off the comments, probably because this video was getting so much negative attention. So when I look at the social media aspect of it, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of positive feedback to Biden. And again, this is the guy that the media is portraying as the guy who's most likely going to win. They're saying, oh, look, the polls show that he's going to win. But when I actually look at social media, which social media is being used by everyone. And when I look at social media, I'm not really seeing a Biden that is popular. I'm seeing a Biden that's hated. And so everyone's using social media now. Everyone's using social media. People are getting their news on social media. People are watching the news on social media. So social media is being used by billions of people. It's being used by everyone. And the guy who is supposed to beat Trump isn't really getting a whole lot of positive attention, and he's not really getting a whole lot of engagement from people. So this really indicates to me that Trump's going to win again. That's what that indicates to me. Anyway, hope you guys have learned something from this video. You guys just heard some theology. God bless.